Hello everyone and welcome to this video comparison where we put the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 4S side by side. I'm an iPhone 4S user and I find the iPhone 5 a pretty good update to this phone I've been using for the last year, as you can find from my iPhone 5 video review that should be available over here. But is the iPhone 5 good enough to make you ditch the iPhone 4S or just make you pick it over the older and now cheaper version? That you'll know by the end of this clip that's going to start right now. First, the iPhone 5 is thinner and longer as it now has to accommodate the new 4-inch screen. However, it looks like a smushed and stretched iPhone 4S as the overall shape and design is pretty much unchanged. However, the one thing that's going to strike you when first grabbing the new phone is how light Apple managed to make it. Those nearly 30 grams that the iPhone 5 lost really matter, and the lower weight combined with the form factor change make it feel slightly better in hand. The iPhone 5 has a glass and aluminum back panel as opposed to the full glass cover of the 4S. I for one enjoy the feel of the metal rear and edges, plus find the new handset more robust. Still, the anodized aluminum tends to scratch and scuff easily, but that's just the way it is. Metal scuffs, glass breaks, there's really nothing you can do about it, aside from sticking a case on your device, of course. Apple also changed the ports arrangement around the case. The headphone jack was moved from the top to the bottom, where there are now some larger speaker grills as well. As before, only the right grill actually covers the speaker, the left one is there just for design's sake. And then there's the new lightning port that replaces the old 30-pin adapter. This is a lot more compact and also easier to use since it's reversible, thus you can stick it both ways. Of course, that means that you'll have to get an adapter for all of your older iPhone accessories, and they're not cheap, but let's face it, the old one was a chunky ancient remain from Apple's earlier years, and the redesign was bound to happen sooner or later. Oh, and I was hoping for the Lightning adapter to offer way faster transfer speeds and also video content output, but no. Except for the new form factor, the thing that you'll instantly notice when having the iPhone 5 and the 4S side by side is the longer screen of the new model. There's a new 4-inch display on it as opposed to the 3.5-incher of the previous generation. It's basically the same width as before, it's just longer. There are no big differences in terms of screen real estate, as the 4S offers 640 by 960 pixel resolution, while on the iPhone 5 you'll get 640 by 1136 pixels. That translates in a 16 by 9 aspect ratio for the new device, which means an extra row of icons on the home screen, no letterboxes around the edges when viewing movies in full screen, and frankly, just a bit more space in all of your daily apps. Personally, I would have preferred a slightly wider screen if possible, as I find the keyboard a bit cramped on portrait mode, but that would have meant going for a larger screen as well, which is actually another thing that I would have enjoyed, but hey, that's another story. Besides the size, the new screen has a better color saturation, slightly improved viewing angles, and less glare when used outside or in direct sunlight. So you could say that it's arguably an improvement over the old screen, but you hardly see the differences between the two. Don't take my word for it, have a look at the following scenarios. With the new hardware platform inside, the iPhone 5 is faster than last year's handsets, but not oh my god faster in any way. When loading games, editing clips, opening apps, the camera, YouTube clips and websites, the iPhone 5 narrowly beats the 4S. Also, the benchmarks show improved results, as you can see here. But is the iPhone 5 in any way life-changing faster? Well, definitely not. In fact, you can barely see that it's speedier even when having it next to the 4S. So frankly, the speed improvement is not the main reason to ditch the 4S for the new iPhone. The addition of 4G LTE connectivity, however, might just be. Depending on your carrier and where you're living, you can get speeds up to 30 or 40 megabits per second up and down with the new iPhone 5, which is even 5 or even 10 times better than what the 4S offered. As for the other slight changes, I'll start by mentioning that the iPhone 5 now uses a smaller nano SIM as opposed to the micro SIM found on the 4S. The camera is faster and captures slightly sharper images and more saturated colors. Quality-wise though, you'll only find the shooter on the iPhone 5 noticeable better when dealing with low light shots. See the pics and the videos and draw your own conclusions here. Also, there's now a HD front-facing camera on the iPhone 5 as opposed to the VGA one on the 4S, and that should make you look better on your FaceTime calls. As for the battery life, the iPhone 5 manages to run a tad longer than its predecessor, but you'll still have to look for the charger at the end of the day. In the end, you should not forget that Apple are still selling the 4S for $99, which is $100 cheaper than the new iPhone. But I feel that if you're going to spend $100 on a brand new phone, you should probably spend $100 extra and get all the goodies packed on the iPhone 5. The iPhone 5 is pretty much an updated 4S, just like all the iPhones have been in the past years. There's nothing groundbreaking about it, and yet it's better than its predecessor and brings enough improvements to make you want it. The slicker and lighter body, the faster connectivity options, the snappier experience, and the new screen are some of the things you'll enjoy on the iPhone 5, and iPhone 1 see no reason why you'd pick the iPhone 4 or the 4S over this one, except for them being cheaper. Upgrading from the 4S to the new one though, that's a different story, as the 4S is still an awesome handset, but if you have the money for it, then why not? Alright, and that pretty much concludes this clip. Thanks for watching, and if you liked it, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel for more clips just as good, if not better. But before you leave though, I'd love to know what's the thing you like the most about the iPhone 5. The one thing that makes you pick it over the older model or just another phone. For me, it's the speed. So I'm looking forward to your replies below, and I'll see you guys soon.